fellow Cortanas, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Crowbra, and today I am doing, of course, predictions for Night of Champions for this Saturday. This is going to be a good event. Let's get right into the video. First up, I want to talk about the Queen of the Ring finals between Io Sky and Liv Morgan. A lot of people are thinking, once again, every time, I swear to God right now, every time that Liv Morgan has a high point match coming up, everybody thinks that this is the moment in time where Raquel and Roxanne Perez are going to turn on Liv. I don't think that both of them are going to turn on Liv. If either one of them does, I think it would be Raquel more than likely, and that would lead into a match either at SummerSlam or, you know, whenever. I know it would be an interesting little tweak to the Queen of the Ring final if one of them, or even both of them, were to turn on Liv. It would obviously bring an interesting little twist to the entirety of the match, but I still think that it's going to remain a match solely between Liv and Io Sky all the way through. And I think that the Queen of the Sky will become Queen of the Ring, Io Sky. You gotta recognize, man, she's gonna go on to SummerSlam more than likely to become champion once again. The men's WWE United States Championship match between champion Trick Williams and his challenger, Ricky Saints. This match, don't have a whole lot to say about this match, in all honesty. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think it's going to be one of the sleeper matches of 2026 that, you know, people don't really think a whole lot about. You know, obviously a lot of people will have a whole lot of respect for both of these guys going as far as their talents and their wrestling abilities are concerned. I mean, they're obviously, it's well-deserved. They're great in the ring, but I just think it feels like a lot of people are kind of sleeping on this match for whatever reason. However, even with saying that, I think this one's going to be a really good match with some really cool spots done and some really memorable moments at that, but I don't think that it's going to end up with Ricky Saints as champion. Trick Williams retains and moves on to continue what's been a, so far, really entertaining and fun reign. Staying with the United States Championship idea, we go over to the WWE Women's United States Championship match between champion Tiffany Stratton versus the Storm herself, Jade Cargill. This matchup has the highest percentage potential, in my opinion, to have a interference alert. Why? Simply because of Mia Yim and B-Fab playing to the heel personas, and I know people just seem to not understand that that's what a heel does when they have allies around them. They get into the match. It's happened since the dawn of the heel. It's a good way to get heat. It's a great way for people to not want to see the heel win. And, of course, Tiffany Stratton will have her own backup in the form of Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, and possibly even Alexa, but we'll see. This match, 100%, is going to be a really good match. It's going to be a real competitive match with some really cool moments, I think. And at the end of it, although it's still going to be Tiffy time, Tiffany Stratton retains the WWE Women's United States Championship. And now we head up to the triple threat match for the WWE Undisputed Championship between champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, versus the Ring General Gunther versus the last real good guy, Sami Zayn. It's got a lot of intriguing things going into it, from the special guest referee match between Cody Rhodes and Gunther with Sami Zayn as special guest referee, leading into this matchup, there's been a lot of cool elements laid out, and this is going to be a fascinating match for this championship, I think. And out of all the matches on this card, though, I still don't feel like it's hard to predict who could possibly be the winner in this match. It's going to be retained by the American Nightmare himself, Cody Rhodes. It's just not the right time yet. It's not the right feeling for Gunther or Sammy to beat Cody Rhodes for the championship just yet. I still think Sami Zayn has a lot of chance to continue to build up an equitable rivalry with Cody Rhodes that eventually crowns him as champion, possibly SummerSlam time, we'll see. But this is going to be a really fun and really interesting matchup, I think. A lot of people are kind of writing it off just because of the fact that majority of people already think Cody Rhodes is going to be winning it, like myself, obviously. So, but I wouldn't write this match off by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be a fun match. It's going to be entertaining. And I think there's going to be a lot of interesting, memorable moments that come out of this match, most definitely. But Cody Rhodes retains and moves on, possibly to face Sami Zayn for the championship at SummerSlam. All right, here we go. This matchup is going to be real hard to call for me, real hard to predict for me, because it seems so tightly wound together, and it's been such a well-told story to this point. But I think we've reached the end point for the story between Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins inside of a steel cage match. This is going to be a brutal and just high-intensity matchup. It just has to be in this for this steel cage to work. But I think there's still going to be some little sprinkled in moments of technical ability by both rivals in this matchup. Overall, though, the reason why it's so hard to determine who could win in this matchup is one reason and one reason alone. Because we've already seen Braun Breaker get the one-up on Seth Rollins multiple times. So it could be time for Seth to be due for a victory over Braun Breaker. However, if Braun loses, I don't think it would hurt him to lose in this matchup by any stretch of the imagination, but I think after what we saw on Raw between Obafemi and Braun Breaker, basically a little touch of a future rivalry between those two monsters, I think that if Braun Breaker loses now, there's going to be a lot of, just a slight bit of momentum that has been very much building over the last several months for Braun Breaker, and I think it halts just a slight bit, but it doesn't completely destroy his momentum by any stretch of the imagination. It just halts it a slight bit to where he might have to go back at Seth Rollins. Although, I feel that this is the right time for this rivalry to kind of have a bookend on it, at least for now. But ultimately, with it being so tight and this story being told so well between these two rivals, it's almost like I got to flip a coin because I can't really go one way or the other. Seth definitely needs at least one victory, singles victory over Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker absolutely needs to continue to build himself as, well, basically a new version of a beast. I mean, essentially is the way that it is right now. So, in saying that, I say Braun Breaker wins this steel cage match. It's just going to be a fun, brutal match and intensity that hasn't been felt for a long time inside of a steel cage match, I feel. We finally come to it. My final prediction of this video, King of the Ring final as well, between Jey Uso and Obafemi. Of course, the winner not only gets crowned King of the Ring, but will go on to SummerSlam for a World Championship match. This one is very tight to call for me because just the stories that are being told with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, and of course Roman Reigns expecting Jay to go on and face Cody Rhodes for his WWE Championship somewhere down the line. Of course, that would be SummerSlam. There's a lot of cool little sprinklings going on for this matchup right now, and it's just getting more and more intriguing as we get closer and closer and closer to the event happening. Obviously, for me, the only way I see this matchup going awry for Obafemi really is if Brock Lesnar, with the ref taking a ref bump somewhere in the match timeline, I would see Brock Lesnar make Obafemi take another F5, causing him to lose this matchup, giving Jey Uso a chance to hit the Uso splash and finish off Obafemi like that. However, that doesn't mean that Oba is going to lose that way, because we've seen him take 4 F5s and still get up and still fight Brock Lesnar one-on-one. So, having him take, one F5 and then be hit by an Uso splash doesn't quite make sense. In that same vein, though, if Jey Uso does win and goes on to face Cody Rhodes, it would still not be the worst call and the worst decision in the world for that to happen. However, I also feel it would be better for Obafemi right now to have 2 matches at SummerSlam. One being for a championship, a major world championship, and the other being a last man standing match against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. How does that not get you salivating just a little bit at the potential of that possibly happening for Obafemi at this year's SummerSlam? I know that gets me more than excited. That just sounds, what's the word? Fire? So, most definitely, out of all the outcomes I see happening, for me, I think that Obafemi wins this matchup, still with the Brock Lesnar story hanging over his head, going on to SummerSlam, a 2-night event, of course, now, having one match for the World Championship and another between Brock Lesnar. Or maybe in the same night, who knows? Haven't seen that for a while. But it would be a great momentum builder for Obafemi if he comes out the victor against Jey Uso, goes on to SummerSlam, and finishes it out that way. That would be absolutely amazing. So, I thank you all so much for watching my WWE Night of Champions predictions video. For this video, let me know what you thought in the comments down, or let me know what you think in the comments down below, your predictions for this year's Night of Champions, or whether or not you agree with my predictions for this year's event. And aside from that, always remember to imagine your dream, create your happiness, and live your life on the edge, and I will see you in that next episode. See ya!